move, your move, your move.
What up, y'all? This is Joe.
And it's Cameron.
And we're here from Team More Than Cards. We're doing a Banlist discussion video today because it's about that time of, the season, I guess. And we got about a month left of this list, unless they, don't do it by October 1st. But we've got a couple ideas of what we want to do.
Yeah, according to Konami, we've got 1 month from today, which is September 1st, this ban list. But I think they'll probably push it a little bit with the Mega 10s coming out on the 1st, but
did they confirm that? Because that date keeps changing.
The 1st is confirmed by Konami.
Okay.
So, the other stuff got pushed back, but
yeah, it's interesting.
That's
this
everything.
month is like one of the only months probably in a while we don't have any product. But.
Yeah, no, trust me. Anyway, so we're gonna go over what we think are the correct hits that Konami will do. We'll throw a little wish list in after the fact.
Oh yeah, some things that both of us kind of want, but we don't expect them to really do. But yeah, I mean, if we want to go ahead and get started, we'll just get right to it. But what do we think for banned?
All right, first card banned.
Ava.
For sure.
The card, we both experienced it playing against Drytron, but even if you kind of stop some of their other plays, it can be an easy follow-up for them, sometimes multiple times, and it just gets you free extra resources and cards. It just allows them to extend so much farther than some other decks.
Ava literally says you can Benton 3 times with 1 Benton. So
it just negates the whole idea of Benton being in one. And that doesn't stop Drytron. They're still going to do stuff. They're just going to be checked a little bit more.
Well, they're just going to do more Drytron stuff.
Yeah.
Than just relying on the fairy engine stuff.
Yeah. So we think it's fine for sure. But then I think the next card is one that we both agreed upon, and a lot of people have been talking about in the format. I've used it and playing my own decks, is Imperial Order. The card is just...
Dude, it's so sacky. If you've played against Imperial Order, or played it, you know exactly what it does. It says, continuous, no spell cards.
Yeah.
No spell cards.
Yeah,
I mean,
look, when I'm playing Trap Trick, set up my board, and then I can just set it, because I main it. If I happen to go first, I set it, I can flip it. Sky Striker could be an auto win, especially if I can just stop the array as soon as they summon the 2 with whatever trap. I mean, if they it's just stupid. It's a dumb card.
And I've heard the argument that they can still be activated in the graveyard. Okay, yeah, there are some spell cards that have graveyard effects that can be used, but that's as far as it goes.
Any card that says, "Hey, I stopped an entire mechanic," is not healthy generally.
Well, the fact that it's been at 1 so long, and that, if you open it, it's just a sack.
There's that, and then literally you also stop spells from being able to destroy it. So then you have to rely on either a monster effect, and a lot of trap decks are probably going to stop you from really trying to do what you want with monsters. It just is too strong in some cases.
Yeah, it's just too much.
What's the next card?
So the next one we have...
Vertex.
I don't agree with it, but you know what? This is an unbiased list. Let's think about it in all seriousness. If Dragoon, heck of a card. Everybody knows how powerful Dragoon is. But in all seriousness, what makes Dragoon broken is that it's super splashable in whatever combo deck you want to throw it into. People play it in Emancipators, people play it in Hero, people play it in whatever, because it is literally a 4-card engine, well, 5-card engine. You got 2 extra deck slots and 3 monsters in the main deck, or 3 cards in the main deck. 1 Red Eyes Fusion, 1 Dark Magician, 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon, and you have a Dragoon to end your combo off.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because even in my experience, like when I've played it, sometimes I've really not gotten the best results with it because a good player will be able to probably play around it. However, that's to even say there's scenarios like we were talking about before, like just between the one and another, but like if you get a Verte, make it on your turn, summon it, you can then use the effect, pop 2 cards, burn for that, then proceed to also attack. You can just outright destroy somebody in a turn and just win you the game.
And the thing about Dragoon by itself, it's not that bad because
you have to run bricks and stuff.
In the context of Dragoon, if you're just playing like a Dragoon turbo deck, like I actually have a Dragoon turbo deck.
It's a great.
It's a blast.
That's a good deck.
But here's the thing: if your deck can't get over 1 negate, Your deck's not that great. So one Dragoon is not really a threat. It's the fact that you can and then add Dragoon.
Also, it's not believable that they would hit Dragoon. There's more Dark Magician stuff coming out soon. It's gonna exist. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to. And then people who want to do it, splash more fusions or whatever. People aren't probably gonna do that. Why would you? It's not free anymore. But yeah, so
Verte, you need to go, buddy.
And it's one of those cards that limits future card design. I mean, that Destiny hero is coming out in the next set, which I want to just be able to use for my heroes. No, but in all legitimacy, like, it's more cards are going to come out in the future that you'll be able to just send stuff and then bring out a thing, and it's an impressive fusion, that should be limited to certain decks or archetypes.
Yeah, if they just made it a Predator Point card, it'd have been fine.
Yeah, so, yep, we're going to say Verte on that.
Yep.
We'll see if that happens.
And that's all we've got for the stuff that needs to go to the ban list that's currently limited or whatever, that's still active. I think that's really all that needs to be hit.
No, for sure. Because right now the format, honestly, is very wide open. It's very diverse, and there's even some outliers and fringe stuff that comes in every once in a while. It's like, hey, I'm here. One that we're going to actually tackle soon is on our limited. Don't want to jump too much the gun, but let's start with stuff we would think they could maybe hit, but don't actually think they're going to. And then we can get to the stuff that we think will actually get probably touched.
Okay. So the first thing, so we're going to do stuff that is our thoughts. So the first thing that I think they might hit, in my opinion, is Nadir's Servant. I've played a lot of Dogmatica variants, engine stuff, not a pure because the pure sucks, but anyway. Hitting Nadir cripples the consistency of that engine and makes the player play more. Because right now, most people are playing 3 Nadir and then 1 or maybe 2 Ecclesia, because Nadir is the free thing, right? Because you don't waste a normal summon. Even though Ecclesia has the condition to special, if there's an extra dead monster on the field, it still doesn't do the same thing as Nadir, because Nadir gives you that pop or search or whatever else too, with the send him to grave. So I think they might hit Nadir Servant. It may still be too new because it's only about a year old at this point, and we haven't had a lot of in-person play, so maybe they're not going to hit that because it's still kind of a fan favorite, and it's not like it's killing.
No, that's what that's why I wanted to jump to that, because mentioning it, it's just that's a fringe thing. It's kind of like it pops up every now and then, but it's not you're not seeing it all the time like something like Drytron that'll pop up, or Tri-Brigade. But with that also being said, one thing that's even probably more fringe and has a very high power ceiling, what card would you hit from that? It's Prank Kids. Prank Kids place specifically.
Something in Prank Kids.
Yeah, like that deck is very very high ceiling, so there's not a lot of people who necessarily want to toy with it. Pun intended, I guess.
Yeah.
But they are just very, very good, But at the same time, do we really think something should be hit? Not necessarily, because, if you know how to play against the deck, there's probably some choke points you could hit. But it's just one of those that pops up out of nowhere, people aren't expecting it, and it can just do a lot. But if we were to hit anything, it'd probably be that card, because it would touch consistency, but wouldn't outright stop the deck probably.
Yeah, and I've heard some arguments for Meow Meow Mew getting limited, but I don't think that's the case, because Meow Meow Mew in a lot of cases starts it off as if you give them one, whatever. I mean, it hurts the consistency. A lot of people are comparing the Prank Kids stuff to the Prank Kids deck to like Salad, the Salamangreat, because it's just one card starter.
Yeah.
Because everything starts as one thing. And when they got their Link 1, which is Meow Meow Mew, it made it very consistent. But I think hitting placed one's a little bit enough of a nerf on it to kind of knock it down a little bit of a peg. But again, I don't think they're going to, because
It probably doesn't deserve it.
it doesn't really deserve it. Exactly, it's not degenerate, but they might. That's kind of why it's on this list, is because we think they may do something to nerf Prank Kids, and that would be what we think they would.
And then this last one I'll let you tackle. This is of potential ones, but we're not sure whether it actually hit. It's a deck you play.
Yeah, it kind of hurts my heart to say it, but if they're going to touch Uplich in any way, shape, form, or fashion, limiting Scarlet Sanguine is probably the best way to do it. Uplich is splashable in a lot of different ways, different zombie decks, other decks, even without using Cursed Eldland, because of Sanguine, because it makes it it just makes it. It stirs the drink. So
That's good.
you limit Sanguine, then you limit the potential of getting out Golden Boy on that following turn, using the Conquistador and your other stuff to interrupt. And what makes it so good is that you can use Sanguine on that turn to do the special summon, and then the following turn you banish it to get your other set from the deck. So that's going to hurt. That's going to hit the consistency of Uplich if they decide to. Again, Uplich hasn't been doing a lot lately. I wouldn't say it's been power crept. It's just other stuff is more powerful at the moment. So it's. Nah, they may hit it. If they're going to touch Uplich, that's what they're going to touch. But so moving on to what we think.
So I actually play the deck some, and we're going back and forth on it. But if we're going to hit something from Tri-Brigade, which should be touched in some form more than likely.
Oh yeah, something's got to happen with Tri-Brigade.
You know, it's kind of like Drytron. You see it more. But we kind of landed on tinky because it's not something that's like that'll hit like the Zoo stuff and also the consistency of Zoo and Tri-Brigade. And we were thinking about different stuff actually in Tri-Brigade. But, the real thing you probably have to touch, like main deck wise, would probably be something like Fractal, because that's the thing that literally starts everything. Fractal, then Nerval, then the kit to get to the card, and then you load up the grave doing that too. But yeah, Tanky's more so. And then we also talked about Resort, the last the trap card. Revolt. Can't think of it right now. The Revolt itself, if you hit it to 1, what are you going to do? You can search it. You could ban the link that searches it, but at the same time, that's new. Is it really? No. Tanky's probably the way that's probably good.
And if you ban Revolt outright, or even limit it, then you're limiting the ceiling of the deck too much. I think.
Same thing with hitting Shurik too.
Yeah, no, definitely not hit Shurik. Shurik's cool. He didn't do nothing. But Tinky is the best hit for that because it backs off the Tri-Brigade and it backs off the Zoo.
Yeah.
Just the consistency there.
And just to, like reinforcement of the army, it's at 1, and any searching card, the more they create monsters for that, powerful things, you're going to get to that point where it does probably need to be touched because it's just those strategies, those types just get too strong.
Yeah.
So, and then one thing, what's the other card we're thinking?
All right, so the other card that I'm going to say needs to get limited, and I think Konami will. I think it's finally time for Magical Meltdown to go to 1. The reason Magical Meltdown needs to go to 1, not only because you're playing with Terraforming 3 Magical Meltdown, you're basically playing 7 Alistairs, but that's not the real reason. The real reason is because it protects the fusion summon. Magical Meltdown states that the fusion summon of your monsters cannot be negated.
Yeah.
So that means you can't judgment any fusion card at all. You can't negate the summon of that fusion monster. So with the new Despia stuff coming out, and Shadal's but I mean anything, it gives any fusion based strategy just a little bit too much of an advantage, and I think limiting that to 1 is the correct hit. You still get to play 2 copies of Terraforming and Meltdown, I guess, if you want to do Metaverse, but what is that going to do?
Yeah.
So, but it just does too much, and it needs to be put down a peg. It's not going to hurt the engine. It's just going to hurt a little bit of consistency. And instead of playing with 7 Alistairs, you only get to play with 5. Woohoo!
Yeah.
But I think that's the correct hit for that.
No, for sure. And I mean, ultimately, it's like that strategy will show up after every banlist kind of, because that's an easy thing for people to go to. And people might argue because the Despia stuff's coming out, they wouldn't want to hit it because it helps promote that, but it doesn't. Despia's still going to be good without it. You don't need that. And it's honestly a little unfair. I mean, you do have something like Super Poly, but even that has a cost. You still have to discard a card and stuff. Magic Meltdown gains you a card, and then you get to search off that card. It's going to be Alistair. It's good, and it probably does need to be touched.
Yep.
All right. So that's everything that we actually think probably need to get
Should
hit
go on the
overall.
list.
Yeah. Just because, like we were saying, meta is honestly not too bad.
I think it's pretty fair and balanced right now, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a triangle. I mean, you got Drytron, Prank Kids and Tri Brigade.
Yeah.
But there's still lots of other decks that are competing. If you look at the top list for these extravaganzas, you got two, and then a bunch of singles, one of decks that, heck, even Dragon Link's still running around, and they don't have LP or Pisty.
And people were freaking about Sky Striker and Engage, and Sky Strikers are good. They're stupid, but it's also not
At
like
full power they are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the thing. They can still recycle it, and it's still good, but it actually makes them playable. Before you didn't see it, so why not add an extra deck in?
Makes it fun.
Yeah. So.
And if you can't beat Sky Striker, then you deserve to lose.
Yeah.
All right. So just a quick recap for banned. We have Ava,
Imperial Order,
and Vertex Anaconda.
Yeah.
For limited, what we think they're actually going to hit
is tanki and
Magical Meltdown. They might hit Nadir Servant. They might hit Prank Kids Place. They might hit Sanguine if they want to nerf those decks. But I think Tinky and Meltdown are the only things that should really get hit.
Yeah.
So for things that we think should come to one or off the list, stuff like that, I'm not going to start with that first one.
Well, it's a bit of a wish list thing.
I do want to say it, but it's not. I really don't. Anyway, we've already discussed this, but I think Harpoor needs to come back to one. Give Orcus something. They haven't done anything of relevancy lately.
Yeah, no, and they deserve it. That's like adding another deck kind of back, right? Even then, I don't know if it really will do much. Probably, because even Bardiche came back and they used to toy with that, but you haven't seen them really at all even show up. And Harpoor might help, but even at one, I don't know. I don't really think it would do anything.
Their field spell is stupid, letting you do all the shenanigans on your
Well,
turn.
yeah, Tower Battle.
So many things do stuff on your opponent's turn now. So I don't think that it will. And so many people
It won't be straight up
and so
there.
many people are main decking stuff against the graveyard right now anyway. So what's it gonna hurt?
Yeah.
I think bringing Hart back is gonna be good for the metagame.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be fine. Going past that, two things we're talking about specifically for Pendulum were Plush Fire.
And Monkey Board.
Yeah. Those two, they're good effects, but they're not outright really ridiculous, and Pendulum has gotten nerfed in various ways. And without an Electromite, you can't just search whatever you want and get a draw and all that, So, dude, give Pendulum a little something to play with.
Dude, if you go back and look at the last 2 years of competitive play, when's the last time you've even heard Pendulum?
Maybe
Any
probably
deck of
before that.
any Pendulum deck. We say Pendulum like it's just one deck, but it's not. There's multiple variants of it. You have Endymion.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I don't play Pendulum.
There was Sorcerer and other stuff too.
Pin Magician, stuff like that. But it's one of those things that give them something. I want to see what they can do, what Pendulum players can do, because those are some crafty dudes and chicks. I know we didn't write it down, but we kind of talked about it right before the video. I think give Electromite to one. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
They don't do anything right now.
No, I agree. I don't think it's too crazy, honestly. But
That's not
I don't know.
useless. I don't play Pendulum.
Yeah. I mean, you can at least test it, right? That's the same thing they did with Engage. Give it a chance, and then be like, no. People are still not ready to be allowed to have this card.
Yeah, and it may break something. I don't know, but I don't think it will.
No, I don't think so.
And finally, what I think should come to one is Thunder Dragon Colossus. It's a love and hate thing for some people. People are going to scream and yell, no, that card needs to stay gone forever. Look, there's so many cards in the metagame right now negate monster effects. I mean, there are literally 10 hand traps that you can play that can stop that. Well, not even hand traps, but there are 10 hand traps, but there's
Other cards.
so many other cards. Man, you got Dark Ruler Droplets, Imperm, Effect Veiler. Gosh, so many cards. They can turn Colossus off. And to one, you get rid of it. They can recycle it, but still, it's not that big of a threat.
The bigger issue
Two
before
Colossus?
was
No.
the bigger issue before was being able to spam multiples of it. But even then, I still think it's really good. But you could probably give it to one. Let that see also how the format is, and then if it needs to go back, it can. But it probably outright doesn't need to be. So yeah, I think it's fine too. A lot of people kind of mention it also. At 1, it's okay. I don't think more than that would be all right.
No.
It is still dumb because it is like a mistake on legs, but at the same time, I mean, we've got drone lock, we've got other things that kind of, to that effect, kind of stop you. I mean, that's more permanent, but we've got more outs in some ways. So.
A lot more since that card came out.
Yeah, so there's that, and then I'm gonna toss this in as well as a wish list thing for me. Now this one's more, I don't think it'd probably happen, but I would say Trickster light stage maybe 2 or 3. You know, we could see what it does. I don't think it's necessarily that crazy. I mean, the one thing that was always powerful about it is the fact that you can use it, search a card, use that, search another card, 1-card engine, still have a bunch of like things to stop your opponent, you know, traps or hand traps. And I mean, also the fact that it stacks burn effects as a field spell with the monsters, doing pretty good. But then, you know, Trickstar has some weak points as well. A lot of times they don't have enough strong monsters. I think with Festival could do more stuff, but I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily going to happen. That's one that's a little more out there. But yeah, I like it.
See what happens.
But that Trickstar is maybe a little more degenerate than other.
Reincarnation is a heck of a card.
Yes, it is.
Infinity Archfiend, bring it back.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I've played
go.
Infinity since back in the day, and even now, like, you know, you look at lists, you try and like engage even with the newer cards. I'm not talking Skunk Striker, but like you look at the newer stuff that's come out even, and like Infernities really don't want to have too many normal summons or anything, and you want a special summon Archfiend, and you know, we could say go to 2 first and see, but like ultimately, you know, Infernities have so many choke points, so many points where, you know, you can try and like stop it, and then you can pretty much shut them down. You know, I don't know. If they get away with it, they can make like 8-10 negates. Very stupid. But at the same time, it's like, it's been long enough. It probably can come back, and you know, in worst case, they can put it back. But I don't think it deserves to be where it is. Even now, people play 1 or 2 Necromancers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you need more than that. You can get access to it in some different ways. Just, you know, you need to loop the 1, so, yeah.
Double Iris Magician. Talking about pendulums again here.
Let it come back.
Let it come back to 3.
Yeah.
It's at 2. It's not doing anything. Let it come back to 3.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Give him
Not
some,
really.
Throw him a bone.
Not really much more needs to be said. Came back, didn't do much, so.
No, nothing. So give him throw him a bone. Give him Electra Knight. Give him Monkey Board. Yeah, let's just give him a little bit of stuff. Plush Fire. Give him a little bit of something. See what happens.
Yeah.
And then finally, the last card that I think needs to come back to 3.
Is what here? No. Called by the Grave.
Hero Labs. Yeah. Yeah, that should
No. It could. But
Call by the Grave. A lot of people are probably going to say no. It probably won't happen. But with so much control running around, I think Call by is a good check on that. Maybe it'll tone down some of the hand traps people are playing because they're afraid to Call by anymore. I don't know. I like Call by at 3 because I like the pseudo trap ability of it on the following turn also. So Call by just gives you a chance to get through some of this stuff instead of, you know, having a single choke point. It lets you play through some of that. And I just don't think it would I think it would just help. I don't think it would make anything overpowered.
yeah, I mean, there's definitely always going to be stuff that balance right of like combo decks having the ability to stop them from being stopped and all that aspect to it. At the same time, like both players can benefit from that card. You know, like having access to it, you both can do things where when this card really needs to go through for me, it's very crucial. Here, I can stop it. That's a very powerful thing to have the ability to do.
And Triple Tactics Talent is a heck of a card. We have that card. It's so much better than Call by the Grave. And it's still, even with a reprint, the sucker's still going to be 40, 50 bucks.
I mean, it's a heck of a card. I wouldn't say it's better, only because of the fact that like Called by is quicker spell speed and it's a quick play. That's the one aspect of it that really.
And main phase has to be activated.
Yeah, you can do Called by more free.
Yeah.
So, but
With the pluses of
yeah.
tactics. So. Anyway, I think Call by should come back to 3.
And is there anything else you can think
I
of?
really can't think of anything else that should come off. Kind of kicked around some of the one of the dragon rulers, just one. Just
Maybe
to kind
blaster.
Of yeah, blaster's really the only thing that I could think of that would be that wouldn't break anything. It would still be viable for some dragon strategies, just for some extension and some additional plays.
Pot of Greed too. Why not? No. Graceful Charity, Snatch Steal. Let's just
Century. Why not?
let's just see the craziest format we can. No.
But Blaster could probably come to one, but I don't think they will yet. But I really don't have much more of a wish list. I mean, well, that's not true. I would love to see Masterpiece come back to one.
Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, it could maybe, but we're gonna leave that alone for
See,
now.
it is not that broken.
I don't know.
Masterpiece. Free the piece.
I don't know. There's cards that basically, if they can't be unaffected completely by a certain... We talked about Imperial Order, right? That literally says spells can't be activated. Masterpiece literally can come on the board and be like, I'm unaffected by these mechanics. Like, that's strong in itself. Not saying, like, it would all of a sudden maybe take everything over, but it could just be a very...
With one diagram? No. But, we'll see. That's my wish list piece.
Yeah.
Piece is Masterpiece.
Yeah.
But, we'll see.
Well,
You would like to see Light Stage. I would like to see Masterpiece.
yeah, I think those are a little different.
Those are stretches, but that's really the only wish list that I've got. I think everything else is pretty solid.
Yeah.
So.
No, for sure.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up this video, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Feel free to like, comment,
Subscribe.
let us know what you think about what we think. But we're kind of excited for the band list because I like the format where we're at right now.
Yeah, I really wonder, there's people also thinking like they're going to maybe change it up a lot. I don't really see a reason for it, but you don't know. Konami maybe just like, some of these decks been around too long. Boom, we're going to hit them up.
Just whack them apart.
So,
We'll see.
Banlist is always a surprise, right? You see it, you're like, what? And then sometimes the things make sense. Like everybody thought Engage was crazy, but it's not been too bad.
People panic about Engage, but
It's not been too bad.
what's it done?
So sometimes it shows Konami does maybe think a little and knows maybe a little more than the players do. Give them credit, And then sometimes they have no idea. And then you're like, why? And then and like Snatch Steal, that came back and it needed to go. If they can do, they have the power to bring it back and then be like, no. Like, Thunder Dragon Colossus, if it comes back and all of a sudden Thunder Dragon is winning everything, then yeah, maybe it needs to go. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Thunder Dragon won one YCS. One. That's all they ever did.
And then there's Burning Abyss. We won how many?
A whole bunch.
It's actually funny. Sky Striker, I don't know if it actually overtook it, but that and BA were like the top two for YCS wins.
Sky Striker won. Dude, Sky Striker won like every YCS for a year and a half.
No, that's what I'm saying though. Historically, it was BA for a while that had like the most wins, but I think Sky Striker either was getting very close, or maybe overtook it. I'd have to double check that. But they brought Engage back. We could give Thunder something, a bone. They're not even on the fringe.
I think it'd be good. No, not at all. Ready Fusion helped a little bit, but no, not really. Not really good.
But all right, y'all. Appreciate it. Like we said, check out more of our stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and take it easy, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Masterpiece.
Yeah.
That I can cut stuff, That's how tired I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should edit this today anyway.
Let's make it raw. All right, we're recording.
All right, we're ready? All right,
You start.
you want me to do the intro?
Yeah, you start.
All right, y'all, this is me sucking. This is me sucking. Okay. Bloopers.
Join the Patreon, you'll see this.
Already, huh?
Yeah,
That's-
I'm ready. Let's do
Okay,
it.
all right. You ready?